Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is our Rice News analyst, Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Mr. Efeni.
Good morning,
Good morning, Mr. Efeni.
Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Tundun.
Hello.
Yes, let's start straight away with Nigeria's newspaper of record, these the newspapers. The lead story, INEC fixes June 2 to 27 for parties' primaries in Edo governorship election. State insists on compliance with Gazette on political gatherings. My certificates duly earned, says Obaseki. APC inaugurates screening appeal committees. Yes, if we just look at other papers, because the Edo situation is fast becoming, in fact, the newspaper reviews look like Edo Watch these days. But let's look at the Vanguard newspaper. Edo, APC's National Working Committee has final say on aspirants' credentials. National Chairman Adams Ushomole now asks, Screening Committee, High Court. Appeals Committee, Appeal Court. National Working Committee, Supreme Court. Well, Ushomole sponsoring protests against Obaseki in Abuja. That's according to Edo Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu. Obaseki will emerge APC candidate, says Adamawa's Governor Fintiri. Court stops APC Ushomole from adopting any method for primary. That is where it is getting interesting. But let's look at Daily Sun. Edo Guba, Obaseki, Ize, Iyamu, others face tough hurdles. Lawyers, technocrats make up panel to screen APC aspirants. And of course, the Punch newspaper, Ushomole, Obaseki, extend war to governor's varsity certificate. Contact UI to confirm Obaseki's certificate. APC chair directs panel. Tell Nigerians varsity you attended. Edo governor tells his predecessor, that's Ushomole. So now, if we just rush back to this day, well, that's straightforward. INEC has fixed between June 2nd and June 27th for the party primaries. Of course, all the political parties, they can choose any date within this range to organize their party primaries. But of course, the handlers of Obaseki, his spokesperson, they have responded to those who are questioning his certificate. And of course, signed by his media aide, they are saying that all the controversy amounts to just hula baloo, that Obaseki duly earned his certificates. I wish it was that straightforward, but if you look at the Vanguard newspaper, where there is already a court injunction barring the party, that is APC, from adopting any of the options for its primaries, then we are looking at a very complex situation for the APC once again. Reuben, Tundun, and Rufai.
Well, I'd like to comment on the crisis in the Edo APC. And, I'm just shocked that the matter of the governor's certificate will be so controversial. The thing to do, as the party chairman has pointed out, and as Obaseki himself has said through his media advisor, Krusu Osage, is to go to the University of Ibadan and verify. The University of Ibadan is a living university, and an ordinary email could resolve this matter. And I hope that the screening panel for the APC can just do that very quickly and try to ask the University of Ibadan whether indeed the governor attended the university or not. However, the governor does not need a university certificate. All he needs, in the light of Section 177, Subsection D of the 1999 Constitution, is just a school certificate or its equivalent. So you don't necessarily have to have a university degree. However, If you submit certain credentials, then of course those credentials must be the correct ones. Now the third point is, I don't understand why the APC chairman in particular is approbating and reprobating. In 2016, this same Obaseki was presented as the candidate of the party. Now, can we raise the question of Estopel if they accepted him at the time on the basis of the same certificate that he submitted? Why are they now arguing against the same certificate now at the party level? Could it be because of what happened in February in Bayelsa State, where David Lyon was removed by the Supreme Court because his deputy did not have valid certificates as alleged and as proven by the Supreme Court? So these are the issues. But the thing for the APC, both at the local level and at the national level, is to make sure that the process of screening or even the primary is free and fair and peaceful. That is very important, so that they don't create the impression that the National Working Committee, which Comrade Oshiomhole says is the Supreme Court, is working towards a predetermined outcome against Godwin Obaseki. I think these are the points for the party to note.
Well, I agree with you, Dr. Abati, in the sense that during Obaseki's first term, the political climate was entirely different. And now APC has had to undergo that debacle in Bayelsa and Zamfara. But also, you're completely right in the sense that all the care possible has to be taken, such that the primaries are seen to be above board because of that Zamfara debacle, where APC completely came a cropper and PDP ran off with the prize by default.
You know, there's a popular saying, and I'm sure Mr. Efeni will know this in Warri, that says that any time your own day break is your morning.
Correct.
So why I said that is because this might just be the breaking of dawn as regards the certificate for Obaseki. The last time you talked about Dr. Abati, nobody challenged those certificates in court. I'm sure if Eze Yamu had challenged this certificate in court the last time, he will have gotten something out of it.
He actually did. Eze Yamu at that time was the candidate of the PDP.
And he challenged his certificate.
And he went to court and challenged it, and the court ruled in September 2016. And the position of the court was that it was a pre-election matter, and the Constitution in Section 285 does not allow for extension of pre-election matters. So that was what was determined at that time.
Since we've got clarity on this, then he can sail ahead.
No, well, Reuben, there is a protest from some members of the APC from Edo State to the National Working Committee demanding the disqualification of Obaseki on account of lack of clarity in aspects of the certificate he has presented. So that perhaps that is what is different this time. The last time there was no protest from within the party.
Yeah, and that was why I said the party cannot approbate and reprobate.
No, but if some members have now come up, the party cannot sweep it aside because the last time he ran without any problem. So I think the party is on course. But what I think we should be even worried about, Tundun, if you may just respond to this. If the National Working Committee, chaired by Oshiomhole, is the Supreme Court, according to Oshiomhole himself, can Obaseki get fair hearing at that level?
It seems extremely doubtful. You cannot be judge, jury, and executioner in your own case.
So the call that perhaps Oshiomhole should recuse himself is now becoming perhaps relevant.
I think he should, because it has become, the waters have become really muddy, and then the personal slight against Oshiomhole about what university did he go to, that is irrelevant because he never claimed to have gone to any university. He did not present any certificates. And we do not have a constitution that discriminates against those who did not graduate from a university. As Dr. Abati said, what you need is a school certificate, school leaving certificate, and that's it.
But the APC should tread cautiously.
Yes, and here lies the booby trap, because on Monday, trial judge M. Umar gave an order in Benin, and I read, "It is therefore ordered as follows, that all parties to the suit and their privies are hereby ordered not to do anything or proceed with any action relating to or concerning the procedure to be adopted or used by the first defendant," that's the APC, their primaries. So there's a court order, so That is where it gets tricky, if you recall the Rivers case, how APC outdone itself in that primaries, and of course, they were not supposed to be on the ballot on election day. That was what the court ruled. But if we just move on to other subjects, the Daily Independent, 186 billion naira health intervention deficit stores revised 2020 budget consideration. This is another case of somebody dropping the ball at the level of the executive, because this budget, the bill was to be presented yesterday, but this omission was discovered, and of course...
Okay, Mr. Efeni.
Yes.
We'd like to say a very big thank you on that. But that's another very big issue that in the coming days we'll look at in the news. All right, that's on the headlines now.